The article that I chose is U.S. Unauthorized Immigration Total Lowest in a Decade. This article is through Pew Research Center, and it was written this past November. It's based on 2016 and fiscal 2017 government data. In 2007, there were 12.2 million unauthorized immigrants living in the U.S. See that first chart there on the left? This dropped to 10.5 million in 2016. The decline is hugely due to the decrease of Mexicans entering. See the second chart there. 2/3 of adult unauthorized immigrants have lived in the country for more than 10 years. Today's population is mostly long-term residents and fewer recent newcomers. Because there are fewer recent unauthorized immigrants, there are now less unauthorized immigrant workers, specifically men between the ages of 18 and 44. Numbers for working women in that age group haven't changed much. Here's a graph just to kind of give you a visual of that. Influx of newcomers has declined. Between 2002 and 2007, there's an average of 715,000 annual arrivals. And then between 2011 and 2016, that average dropped down to 386,000 annual arrivals. And most newcomers have become long-term residents. The number of unauthorized immigrants is steadying because there are fewer recent newcomers. 43% of unauthorized adults live in households with U.S.-born children. Roughly 5 million U.S.-born children live with their unauthorized immigrant parents. So meanwhile, Central American immigration increases. Here on the map, you'll see the countries in red. Immigration from those countries has increased, and then the blue countries are the ones that have decreased. 375,000 have entered the U.S. without authorization between 2007 and 2016. These immigrants mostly originate from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and then Venezuela has also increased numbers recently. However, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Korea, and Peru have decreased. This is probably more familiar to us, and the increase is not surprising in light of the migrant caravans that have been happening recently. This chart is just to get a visual for the directionality of immigration change from these origin countries. As you can see, some have decreased and fewer have increased. Lawful immigration grew 22%, and this is an increase of 6 million people. In 2016, the U.S. was home to a total of 34.4 lawful immigrants. This includes naturalized citizens and non-citizens on visas. There are two programs that give temporary protection from deportation, DACA and TPS. DACA is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, supports about 700,000 young adults. That's of August 2018. It was created by the Obama administration, and it's been threatened by the Trump administration since he came to office. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services resumed taking DACA requests last year, but they are renewals only, and only because federal courts said that they had to. TPS supports about 317,000 people from 10 different nations. It is granted to those coming from countries with natural disaster or violence that prevent them from returning easily. The Department of Homeland Security is in the process of terminating protection for Sudan, Nicaragua, Haiti, El Salvador, Honduras, and Nepal. The remaining countries may not last beyond 2020. Overstayed visas constitute most of the recent unauthorized immigration. Most overstays, 90%, are by non-Mexicans. 95% of border apprehensions happen to Mexicans and immigrants from Central America. 700,000 overstays should have left during the 2017 fiscal year. As there is limited data, we are not sure if overstay numbers are growing, shrinking, or stable. In paragraph 33, the authors write, for Mexico, there were almost 4 times as many apprehensions as discovered overstays. And then that number is even larger for Central American nations. And then the rest of the world just kind of overstays and they don't get apprehended. Deportations. In 2003, there were 211,000 deportations. During the Obama administration in 2013, there were 433,000 deportations. In 2016, and in the years around that, there have been consistently more than 300,000 deportations. Most of the people being deported are from Mexico and the northern triangle countries in Central America. There has been a slight decline since 2017. Nearly 230,000 were removed. There was a shift in enforcement methods, and we've been seeing more interior arrests. This chart kind of gives you an overview of how the immigrant populations have been changing. Only 3 states registered increases. Those are Louisiana, Maryland, and Massachusetts. Everything else has either been a decrease or about the same. Oregon reported a decrease of about 40,000 unauthorized immigrants since 2007. Our authors both have a pretty solid background in writing and research. Both of them have specialized in demographics and social trends, and then their careers before writing and all that with Pew has been pretty impressive as well. They've both published 3 articles last November. I believe 2 of them they worked together on. In my opinions, let's build another wall. The one that's already there proves that they stop immigration, obviously. Is there really a crisis on the southern border? The numbers were crisis level when they were at their highest. How could it be a crisis now? And it hasn't been a crisis for the last 2 years. So why is it all of a sudden requiring emergency funding to build this wall? I don't think it's fiscally responsible, let alone effective. I am aware that Obama had approved some plans for a wall, and I still don't think that a structure of that magnitude and cost is a good idea. I also don't see Trump getting concerned about the rising numbers coming from like India and other non-American countries, for which a wall is entirely useless. I think if you want secure borders, invest the money in other things. If you have to build a wall, then don't do something ridiculous. But in all seriousness, I thought it was a well-written article. Low dense with numbers. I'm very curious to see how Alex's presentation will either align with or challenge this article, as the title of his seems a little contrary to mine, so I think that'll be fun. I think that there's a natural flow to human migration patterns, and numbers will rise and fall. It's good to step back and look at the facts and research and see what's natural and what's extreme. I think that the migrant situations are going to I don't think that they're going to decrease worldwide in the long run. So looking at the U.S. currently, we're not really in an extreme situation in comparison to all that, but the time for that will yet come. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.